Good day, everyone. So today we're going to talk about Wonderhero. So Wonderhero is another play-to-earn blockchain game that I heard about coming from Alex Becker like a month back, and I didn't really have the time to look into the game back then, and now I want to go in and review this game. Well, not exactly review it, but of course we're just going to look into what this game is and what's the potential for the game. So before we get into what the game is, let's look into the token. So right now the Win token, or the Wonder token, sorry, is already at $6.57. So this is way back when I heard about it coming from Alex Becker. It was around $2.60. Then he mentioned this in his video, then the price started spiking up. Now the price has staved off down to $4, and it's been on this range ever since, so it hasn't broken out yet. Now when I look at the market cap, it's pretty low actually. 38 million market cap is low, but what I'm concerned with is the fully diluted market cap, because it's already over 659 million. I think that's pretty heavy. No, I don't know if this game will be a potential of a $1 billion game. Maybe if the game really comes out and performs well, maybe that's a potential, but we will see. So right now for me, I think the price in terms of the fully diluted market cap is a bit high, but then we never know what happens in crypto, right? I could be wrong at the moment, but that's my assessment. It could be high, but the potential of the game might push this even further, so we'll see about that. So right now, just take note that the Wonderhero token is actually the governance token for the game. They also have what they call as the HON token, which will be the in-game currency that you can also use in the game itself. But both tokens can actually be earned when you're playing the game, so just take note of that, which we'll get into in a bit as well. Now, as I've mentioned, the game is RPG tactics type of game. So if you are familiar with Final Fantasy Tactics, I think this is going to be an easy fit for you. You can quickly understand how the logic of the game works. So you can see here in the sample screenshot, the sample gameplay below, this is a PvP type of play that's showing here. So you can see that they're grid based, so meaning that your heroes can actually move on certain locations, and you can do your fights, and area attacks will have area of effect damage. So that's something you really need to take into consideration when you're doing PvPs. Now, since we're already talking about the gameplay mechanics, let's deep dive a bit more into this discussion. So they actually have an in-depth article in their Wonderhero Medium to talk about how this game works. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a grid-based game. Now, in terms of playing the game, they have two modes. It's going to be PvE, which is the campaign mode, and PvP, which is the arena mode. Now, this game really reminds me of Chain Guardians, if you're familiar. If you haven't played it, it's free, you can play the game. But Chain Guardians is a bit more of an oversimplified version of what this game is. But in terms of aesthetics, they have the anime style design, which is very similar. It also reminds me of Defina, if you're also familiar with that. It's a card-based game. Then the design-wise, these three games kind of makes me feel like they're made by the same people, but they're not. But that's just the feeling that I get. But in terms of mechanics, you can see here that this is a campaign mission that you can see in the screenshot. You can zoom that in a bit. So here you can see there's chapter 1, 2, and 3, and 4. It's similar to how Chain Guardians works. They also have certain chapters that you need to finish, and for each chapter you have missions that you need to do, and you need to hit a certain number of stars. Then you will get extra rewards coming from that mission. So that's how the PvE will work. So now in the battle systems, as I've mentioned earlier, this is a turn-based game, meaning that there will be an action period for your team and an action period for the enemy team. I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be like alternating. So that part, I didn't quite get it, if it's going to be that setup or not. But what I'm aware is that there will be a phase for you, there will be a phase for them. But I'm pretty sure they're going to put a time limit on it, because if they don't put a time limit on it, it's going to take forever for the PvP mode to happen. But I guess for PvE, it shouldn't be an issue, because you're only playing with computers. Now, they also have terrain effects, so similar to tactics games, right? There will be locations where you need to, you can't cross. It's a terrain that's blocked, for example, so your attacks can't pierce through certain terrain, certain locations, so you need to be careful on that one. So in this example, they have what it calls a burning area. So definitely if you try to cross that, then you're going to get damage. So most of the time you would want to avoid something like that. So they also mentioned there are different status effects that can be caused by skills or terrain. So they will bleed, disarm, vulnerable, stunned, and they're planning to do more. Now in battle preparation, so you only have 4 heroes that you can play per game, right? So you need to select the heroes that you need to use. And for each individual hero, so you will equip them with weapons and equipments. So your weapon will be one, and other NFTs would be the headgear, the bodysuit, and they call this, I think, the badge. So this is something like the badge or the biochip or something like that. So all 3 of these items will either add defense, attack, or additional skills. And even you can actually even complete sets of gears that will give you extra bonuses on stats and maybe additional skill sets. So that's something you might need to consider when you're trying to suit up your hero on a battle. Definitely getting better NFTs for that one would make your hero perform a lot better. Then there will be also equipments that will, well, not equipments, there will be items that will allow your hero to level up. Now the heroes, they have 3 different races, which is human, mech, and cyborg. So this is like the paper, scissors, and rock type of setup. So if you have a human, it's strong against mechs. If you have a mech, it's strong against cyborgs, then cyborgs are strong against humans. So at least when you're gonna play the game, you need to do a decent mix match of heroes, because if you have like all cyborgs, then they can just hard counter you. Then it's a done deal fight, right? So you need to be careful with that when you're trying to select the heroes that you're gonna use when you're fighting against PvP, especially. So again, as I mentioned, weapons have different effects as well. So they have elements, but they also have different types of range types, right? So this one is their normal attack. This one is a piercing attack, meaning that once you attack the ones at front, then the ones at the back will also get damaged. And this is a leap attack, which will allow you to damage like multiple enemies at once. Then there is also a Deadeye attack, which can go through obstacles and damage multiple enemies at the same time as well. So there's a lot of options here. I guess it really depends on the weapon type that your hero actually uses. So that's part of the strategy that you need to think about when you're going to play the game, especially if you're going through ranked games like the arena ones. Of course, people are going to be thinking like, what's the best build? You need to set up your heroes so you can have decent tags up front, and you have decent damage dealers at the back, and maybe you need support heroes as well. So there's really a lot of strategies that you can do in this game, which is actually intriguing to play. So I would say this is something that would be very fun to play, as long as they manage to execute this. I think the idea is there, and all they need to do is just execute this well. Then this is probably going to be one of the better games out there in the market. Now equipments, I've already gone through this earlier. So you have the headgear, battlesuit, and badge, and you can actually complete sets of these, which will give you additional bonuses. Then for boss battles, they mentioned here that the boss battles would have different parts. So different parts, that you can break them separately, and you also have a good chance to get rare NFT drops if you manage to defeat the boss. I think that's a good idea. That makes the boss fights a bit more interesting, instead of just attacking one part of the boss and that's it, done deal, right? But if you break the boss down into separate parts, then you'll have to think of strategy like, do I need to break the tail first? Do I need to break the leg first? Or do I need to break their weapon first, right? In order to ease up my battle with the boss. So that's a good concept, because this is normally used in most tactics games, and even in turn-based games, right? RPG turn-based games, like all of the Final Fantasy games, they have that type of concept applied to some of the boss battles as well. So I think that's a very good implementation. I really like it. So in terms of play to earn, so I guess this is what people would normally want to look for, right? So the game structure here is, right, what's the use for wind and the HON token, right? So if you're gonna buy a hero, you need the Wonder token. Sorry, I keep using wind because WND kind of pertains to wind. So the Wonder token is the hero. Then if you need to upgrade your weapons, it's gonna be a combination of Wonder token and HON token. Then for your gears, it depends on your gears. So you will need HON token only for the chest armor and the helmet. I think this is the helmet or goggles. Then for the biochip, Wonder token and HON token. Now both tokens can actually be earned. Now HON tokens can be earned if you complete missions, but Wonder tokens can also be earned by completing challenge badges. I hope that these are daily quests, or that will give the players a bit more incentives to actually keep playing the game. Now again, as I've mentioned earlier, if you defeat bosses, then you can possibly get rare NFTs as well when you complete their missions. Now they're also mentioning something about mining. So meaning mining is that you can stake your NFTs, then you can earn a certain win tokens, but they didn't really do a complete breakdown on how much exactly you can earn. So I'm not exactly able to explain it properly here. Now with regards to NFTs, before I forget, now they have a current NFT sale that's gonna come in a few hours. Now apologies for that because I only found out today as well. So it's going to be in, I think, 3 hours from now, if I remember correctly. So apologies, by the time I upload this video, the sale might be ongoing by then. So just to give you a brief background on what's going to be on sale. So they're going to have a mystery box in Binance. Now my experience in Binance hasn't really been good in the past, because most cases sales like these tend to be sold out in a second. So they have a lot of bots there, and they're just gonna buy out everything and resell for everything at double the price. So I'm not really exactly hoping to get one here. So, and I don't really have the budget at the moment, but maybe I'll see later if this sold out or not. If not, then maybe I might consider getting one. So the one mystery box is gonna cost you around 150 bucks. Then it'll give you 5 NFTs, which will give you 1 hero, 1 weapon, and 3 equipments, which includes the headgear, battlesuit, and badge. And they're selling a quantity of 5,000 with 40 variations. Now here is the probability rate of you getting a hero. So 2-star is 42%, 3-star is 40%, 4-star is 15%, and 5-star is 2.4%. So if you get lucky, you get a 5-star, then congratulations. But again, that's the risk. But at least at the end of the day, you get a mystery box for a decent price. Now they have a rule though that you can only buy a maximum of 2 per user, meaning like per account that you have in Binance. Alright, so before we end the video, we just need to go through one more, which is the most important part, which is the team. The team is actually Docs, I guess, because if you look at the LinkedIn for Ethan Nunn, you can actually see his LinkedIn and his Twitter, but the thing is there's no picture of him, but the account has like over 500 connections. So I think it's not something that easy that you can just make up 500 connections out of nothing. And he has been transparent that he is currently the CEO and founder of Wonderhero. So I think that's a good thing. So you can also look into the other people here. They also have their LinkedIn profiles included. Again, I also tried to look into the company, but I really can't find a website for the company, so I guess they don't have one. So the company is called Gamichi Pte Ltd. So they don't have one right now. So I haven't, I wasn't able to find a website, so I don't think they have one. But at least they have their Twitter or LinkedIn accounts available in the white paper, so you can look into that. So lastly, roadmap. I almost forgot about this one. So they only have a very short roadmap down here. So for October, they already did the IDO, which we have seen already in the token. In CoinMarketCap, they launched the Wonder token. They also had the smart audit contract. Oh, they're also doing alpha tests, so I wasn't aware of that. So I guess some people have already done the testing for the game. Then they also had the LP staking, which I think is somewhere, do I have it open? Yeah, here. So you can actually do staking right now. If you have the Win token, you can do the LP for Wonder token and BNB. Then you'll be able to stake it. So the staking will end 10 days from now. So you can do that if you want to invest into the game. Now in November, they're announcing partnerships. So I'm looking forward to that one. Complete alpha test, so hopefully they manage to complete that on time. Then this is the first NFT sale, which is actually happening today. Then on December, so they're gonna have the open beta test, so this is probably where we'll be able to actually test the game and play it. They're gonna launch the NFT staking, they're gonna launch the HON token, the yield system, then so they're gonna have another staking for Wonder token, then you can earn HON token, marketplace, and another NFT sale. than the actual game launch. Alright, so I guess the beta test is not gonna be that long, I guess, so it's probably gonna last maybe a week or two, then they'll just release the game. Then on 2022, I guess I would assume this is going to be Q1. Then they're gonna launch the Arena mode, which is the PvP system. So I guess in December they will be launching the PvE mode. Then on 2022 they're launching the PvP mode. And that's pretty much it. That's a pretty short roadmap for a game with a very complicated setup. I hope that they would extend the roadmap someday soon, so they can show us what exactly are the plans that they want to do for the game. So that's a bit disappointing for me to see that this is the extent of their roadmap right now. But again, who knows? Maybe they're already preparing one, but we'll see. Alright, so overall guys, I think this game has a lot of potential. It's just that at the end of the day, the only important thing is that the team makes sure to implement the game properly, and hopefully they don't have any much of issues once they release the game. I think this is going to be a great game. I honestly think this game needs a lot more attention. The only time popped up is from what I've watched with Alex Becker's videos. So I think marketing wise, I think this needs a little bit more push so people would recognize this game a bit more. So let me know guys if you want to get into the game, or are you just gonna stand by and play the token. And with that guys, that ends my video today. So thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you again in my future videos. Stay safe people.